think about the common hopes that kinship caregivers frequently have, I think the most common is reunification, that the children will be able to return to their parents, and that the parents will be able to assume primary responsibility for the children. So I think that's one of the primary hopes. The second hope is that they'll be able to return to their own life and their own dreams and their own hopes and passions. I think the third is that the children will be able to remain with the parents, that they won't have to return to them, and that they as a caregiver will be able to resume their previous roles and relationships with the family. It provides the caregiver the belief, the resilience. It provides the caregiver the determination. It provides purpose. It provides direction, and it provides faith. And it's faith even against all odds. It's the faith that the impossible can become the possible. So I think when we think about hope, it's something that caregivers need and that you don't want to take away. And I think it's something that caregivers need to maintain. But at the same time, it's being able to do what I call and have with yourselves, if not, then what discussions, so that you can hope for the best, but still plan for the worst. It's important that there's always that assessment, ongoing assessment, to look at your hopes and look at whether or not your hopes are becoming unrealistic. Because at one time it can be very realistic, but at what point and what's the criteria that you're going to use over time to help you figure out, am I moving from hope to denial? And by asking the question throughout that whole process, are my hopes and denials in the best interest of the child? That will keep you focused and keep you on board. That'll be the reality test. Yes, I believe in them, but what do I need to see them do that will let me know that alternative planning is or isn't necessary? What's the activity that I need to see, or what inactivity will let me know when I need to let that hope go and begin to start looking at other alternatives? Because if you're not able to develop that criteria, then your hope can then become denial. So being able to develop that criteria based on their activity, not your hope, becomes crucial in determining whether or not you should hold on to those dreams and whether or not you need to start planning for worst case scenarios. So for example, if you hear yourself saying things like, I know he can do this, I know she'll be okay, I know that they're going to get it together, but you don't see activities that support that, then that may be a red flag for you based on your own words and your own conversations. That may suggest that your hope is becoming denial. Or perhaps you'll hear yourself say things like, I don't need to make plans because they're definitely going to go home. I don't need to do alternative planning because they're definitely going to be able to complete these programs. So when you hear yourself saying those kinds of things, that might be a red flag that you may need to process and take a look at. Or you may say, I don't need to supervise those visits. He or she wouldn't do any of those kind of things to the children. That's a red flag that you may want to take a look at in terms of feeding into or making you avoid having to deal with the pain of having to deal with that denial. One, are my hopes and my dreams placing my children, their safety and well-being in jeopardy? And number two, what's the criteria that I need to use in order to know when to develop those alternative plans? You know, when is it necessary to develop and implement those alternative plans? And there's a third question too. At what point do I need to involve the children in being prepared to deal with their hopes and their dreams and the possibility of their hopes and dreams not becoming realistic? What hopes and dreams should I share with the children? And whether or not they can handle the disappointments, because that's the formula. You don't share hopes and dreams with your children unless they're able to handle the disappointments. That's why you'll do things like not tell the children that the parents are coming over until they're actually at the front door. That's why you'll not tell them they're on the phone until they actually call. So it's being able to know, what hopes and dreams do I need to give the children? Do I need to give myself, keep to myself? And then I think another conversation that you need to have with yourself in terms of managing your hopes and dreams are, who is there for me to brainstorm? Who is there for me to problem solve? Who is there for me to share my disappointments and my pain, and will help me deal with the disappointments and pains so that I'll be resilient enough to help the children? One of the crucial roles that you have as a caregiver is helping the children heal from the traumatic experiences that they may have had that led to their placement. And in order to help them heal, in order to help them recover from those situations, they have to feel safe. They have to feel believed. They have to know that you're still going to accept them. And the way you're going to have to do that is by letting them know that I will believe what you tell me, even if it hurts me to know that the person who hurt you is my son, my daughter, my sister, my brother. Because the children are going to be sensitive to fact. They know that you wear two hats. They know that you wear the hat as their caregiver, but they also know that you wear the hat as a relative of the birth parent. So you're going to have to make it real clear by saying things to them like, what you need comes first. Your hurt and your healing comes first. I'm here for you first. And I will believe what you tell me, even if I get upset and am hurt by what you're telling me about your birth parent. It's sharing with the child your pain, acknowledging their pain, letting them know that you hurt because they hurt, and then talking to them about, this is how we're going to handle it in our family. That's the part that's crucial in helping them heal. But it does mean being able to accept the fact that you may have to give up those beliefs that my child didn't do it, my cousin didn't do this, my brother didn't do this. You're going to have to be able to work through that hope that they didn't to the point of accepting that they did. So they need to know that you will follow through with court orders, visitations. They need to see you follow through with supervised visits. They need to see you follow through with monitoring their contacts and their phone calls. They need to, and at the same time, you're modeling how that you can still love someone who has hurt you, but love someone in a way that's protective and responsible. Because you see, they're going to have to also learn how to love those that have hurt them, forgive them that have hurt them, and to be able to protect themselves in a very responsible way. They need to know that love is something that has to be earned, that loyalty and trust has to be earned, and that there is accountability. The idea that those closest to you hurt you, that's what they've learned. So now they have to relearn that those closest to you protects you as well.